Some of you have seen me, others haven't never seen me before. I see some unfamiliar faces. You guys are like, what? This looks like the oldest looking 14-year-old we've ever seen. Right? This is the oldest looking 14. I'm a little guy, man. I'm a little guy. Can't do nothing about it. I'm a little, you know what? Some of us are little guys. Fuck it. I gotta be careful as a little guy. I can't get all dressed up in fluorescent clothing and then walk through a park without an adult around. Some parent will come up to me like, do you know where you are? Are you lost? Oh, this one's lost. I'm like, come on, leave me alone. I'm getting my steps in, lady. I got high blood pressure. I'm getting my steps in. There's some perks to being a little guy, for instance. I can fuck in a tiny house. You can't. No way. Not when there's furniture in it. You can't. Also, I'm in my late 30s and I can still trick or treat. That's pretty cool. They don't know who's underneath that Power Rangers mask. They got no clue. They think it's a kid, but it's a grown-ass adult trying to get my Snickers game on. And I'm like, king size, give me the king size, bitch. I'm an adult under here. It's cool being small, but people think they can just tell you you're small. It's very okay in social situations, which is fucked up. No one says shit about oversized people. We can't. We have to be quiet about it. We gotta pretend that they're not 400 pounds. We just gotta be like, it's not happening. It's not happening. It'd be like, I just asked them if they wanted some celery and hummus. Was that the right decision? I'm just gonna ignore that they don't eat celery and hummus. But small people, they just could say, fuck it, it's open season. I met a woman for the first time a few weeks ago. She gave me we went in for the hug, and she goes, oh, you're so little. Oh my God, what do? You work at Disney? What do you? She's like, hey, Carol, look at this little guy right here, huh? I'm never gonna take you seriously. I'll give you a piggyback though. You wanna get on? What do you say, little guy? Yeah, people think they can just say it. I was getting a massage in Koreatown. In the middle of the massage, the woman goes, oh, you small body. You know how difficult it is to maintain an erection when someone says that shit? So none of y'all are at Burning Man, huh? What's up with that? None of y'all at Burning Man? What's the matter? You don't want to take a Molly shit in the sand? You didn't want to take a Molly shit in a sand dune? What's wrong with you? Burning Man's so much fun. Fucking walk out of there with an ass crack full of sand dune. No thank you. I'm an adult now. I can't do that shit. I got a friend that goes. She likes to pretend that it's an enlightening experience, but we know what's really going on at Burning Man. This is just an excuse for a bunch of rich adults to take hardcore drugs. That's what's going on. This ain't enlightening. I'm like, oh, it was a really enlightening experience? Yeah, you getting double teamed by two guys that work in tech dressed as pirates? While you're on mushrooms? That sounds very enlightening. These jokes are hit or miss, I can tell, but you know what? It doesn't really matter to me because today I took a shit in a Ralph's. So no matter what happens tonight, it's not gonna be worse than the shit I took in a Ralph's today. Do your worst, lifted laughter. Do your worst. You're not gonna do what the Ralph's bathroom did to me today. I questioned all my life's choices today. In that Ralph's bathroom, looking at the lovely poetry on the wall. We're like, Shelley sucks cock, okay? I'm making good decisions today. I had to find a new roommate in my apartment, and I'm in charge of the place, so I had to interview roommates. This sucks. You ever do this? Fucking lame, man. And it's crazy to meet strangers to live with. That's just a crazy thing that we do. It's crazier than dating, because you go on a date, and at the end of the date, maybe you're like, hey, this was a pretty good 45 minutes. We seem to get along. Want to go on a second date? When you meet the roommate, you're like, hey, this was a pretty good 10 minutes. We seem to get along. I think it's time you moved in, bro. Yeah, I think it's time you moved in. That's insane. That's fucking insane. This is a stranger you just met. And you're like, you like sports too? You want to sleep 14 feet from my head for the next 2 years? You'll date someone for 5 years before you agree to live with them, right? Even then, you'll push back. You're like, I don't know if I'm ready. 5 years, you know their family. But some stranger that I meet that has the same schedule as me, I'm like, I'm ready to commit. Oh my God, yeah. And then maybe your partner even put pressure on you sometimes. Like, look, you got that extra room in your apartment. You got this extra room. We should move in together. You're like, I'm sorry, honey, but that room is for Gary off Craigslist. Yeah, no, I know he's from Florida and has an ankle monitor, but you know, he paid 6 months up front, so this is my guy. Yeah, he likes anime too. I think he might be my soulmate. Plus, he's on house arrest. He can watch the dog. It's perfect for me. You won't live with someone that you love, but you're like, oh, this guy, all right. You say you're clean? You say you're clean? Yeah, come on, move in. You don't even know if they got a criminal record, man. Or what their credit is. Not that that matters. If you have good credit, it still doesn't mean you're not gonna murder me and my whole family. Jeffrey Dahmer probably had great credit, right? He was a good neighbor, you know? People always said it, what a great neighbor. He probably had awesome credit too, but good. And I share a wall with this bedroom, so, you know, I can't have a snorer, right? I can't have a snorer, but I can't really ask somebody if they're a snorer. It's kind of a strange question, and nobody's honest anyways, bro, right? Nobody's really. That's all right. I can tell if you're a snorer by the way you breathe regular. Yeah, I'm like, oh, did I sense a struggle in there? Oh, you gotta sleep with a machine on your face, don't you? You need one of those masks on your face to get through a night. I can see that. And if I can't tell, I just make him take the stairs twice, and then we talk. Really out of breath, aren't you? Ain't gonna make it, brother. Ain't gonna make it. You're a snorer, I can tell. If you got man tits, you're a snorer too. So sometimes I make them take off their shirt. You got man tits, you're a snorer. You gotta make sure you can't live with people that do crazy shit. So, and people do crazy things, man. So you gotta put it in writing, but you gotta think of everything. I've thought of everything because I've had a lot of weird shit happen to me. So my sublease is 17 pages long. They're like, oh my God, this has a clause about alien abduction. I'm like, that's right. I want to make sure you pay your shit while you're in some other galaxy. I had a roommate disappear. It was an alien abduction. Oh. Next thing you know, I'm 3 months rent deep. Where is this asshole? So I'm not playing that game anymore. You got to think of everything too, man. Because people will fuck with it. You can't put just no pets. No, because then they'll be like, that's not my pet. That's my emotional support skunk. You gotta put rules in there. You gotta be like, you can't run an OnlyFans fuck dungeon out of your room. I'm so sorry. People will. They'll run an OnlyFans fuck dungeon right in that bedroom. They don't care. I gotta put it in there. Don't kill squirrels on the balcony. You gotta do it. Don't massage clients in the kitchen, please. Can we not massage clients in the kitchen? And don't scream for no reason. Paragraph 6 says, don't scream for no reason. Because people will scream for no reason. I don't know why. There's no reason. They just fucking scream. Hey, man, I heard you scream last night. Oh, yeah, you know. Sometimes I scream. Can't live with someone like that. People are fucking idiots, though. And then you gotta live with these fucks after meeting them for 15 minutes. How? I can't make that big decision after 15 minutes. But you can't treat it like a date, like you're gonna live with somebody. I can't be like, all right, you like the apartment? Okay. How about you come meet my parents? How about we go to a wedding next weekend, you and me? We'll go to a wedding, and then we'll see if you're ready to live here. All right, maybe that's not funny. It's just me reflecting. I don't give a shit. I was in Ralph's bathroom today, so do your worst. Do your worst. I like to get high and watch animal documentaries. I was watching this thing called Our Planet. You ever seen it? Yeah, Our Planet. They should call it Our Planet and What the Fuck We Did to It. Because it shows you some animals, and then it makes you feel bad about being a human being for the next 45 minutes. Like how we've destroyed the planet. And I just wanted to see some animals, but it starts off nice. They'll show a pretty animal, and you got nice music too. It's like happy music. And then an old English dude who's got a very sweet voice. He sounds like he gives a shit. And he's like, "Oh, look at this! It's the blue horn swallow. He said, wow, what an amazing creature. So beautiful. And then he'll tell you the great characteristics of the bird. This bird can fuck 4 other birds at the same time. This is an amazing bird. This bird, this bird has Bitcoin. This bird mines for Bitcoin. And then it'll take a turn and a musical change. And it'll be like, but sadly, and I'm like, oh no. But sadly, it won't live through the evening. Because earlier today it swallowed an Xbox controller. I'm like, fuck, an Xbox controller, shit. Because the goddamn humans. And then he'll just get me, the goddamn fucking humans. And then it'll get all sweet again. Okay, now we move to Madagascar. It's the worst when they go up north to the poles. You see what's going on up there? Because all the shit melted. So there's no more poles. Or whatever the hell was up there. Yeah, and a lot of those animals need that ice to survive, but the ice is just, it's fucking gone. They'll be like this, they'll have a polar bear, and they'll be like, this polar bear. And they'll give you nice music. Oh, it's a lovely polar bear. We love polar bears, right? Although they're a little surprising when you see a polar bear, because we think they're all white, but they're actually kind of fucking nasty, dirty looking. You know, they're a little dirty. I'm like, oh shit, he rolled around in an ashtray or something. What happened to this polar bear? Was he changing oil today? What did he do? Change oil? Just to look a little, ugh. And they're like, this polar bear's been swimming for 45 days looking for a piece of ice. I'm like, because the fucking humans used all the ice to make boba beverages in Hollywood, California. Fuck this show, man. This is not what I want when I'm stoned. I'm feeling horrible about being a human being. I feel bad enough, man. They're still boycotting Bud Light. People are so mad about it. They won't drink it because they think it represents and supports gay people and trans people. Isn't that bizarre? They stopped drinking Bud Light for these reasons when this whole time there was another reason not to drink Bud Light. And it's Bud Light. It's fucking flavorless horse piss, right? Does anything taste more like piss than Bud Light? How many of these you gotta drink to get drunk? 45 of these things? 80 of them? One time I drank 102. I was still totally sober. What is this fucking shitty beer? We're not gonna drink Bud Light. Yeah, you shouldn't. You should drink an adult beverage, you loser. Do they not have IPAs where you live, you fucking idiot? Drink Bud Light. I mean, Bud Light was the first drink I ever drank, the first beer I ever had. I was 15, and I immediately moved on to another beer. I remember the moment. It was when I had another beer. I was like, oh, this shit can have flavor. Nice, nice. I didn't know that. It's dumb behavior when you boycott a low-quality product. Go ahead. Like, you know what, I'm not gonna eat cheese in a can no more. Yeah, don't eat cheese in a can. Have you had real cheese? There's real cheese out there, stupid. That's like boycotting Spirit Air. I'm not gonna fly Spirit Air anymore. Yeah, you shouldn't. You should care about your life. Fucking dummies. They're so dumb. I was doing shows in the middle of nowhere recently. You guys ever go to like a small town fair? You know the kind? And you feel free to participate, you know.
I love the fair, dude.
Fair, right? I remember the fair came to my town too. I remember that shit. And at first it was exciting, but then it quickly devolved into a very scary experience. You get excited, you're like, oh, all these rides, and then you see the roller coaster arrive on the back of a Dodge Ram pickup, and you're like, oh no. Just beat up pickup trucks bringing in the rides, and there's no engineers putting this together. These aren't engineers. These guys aren't engineers? No, I saw them earlier the day at a 7-Eleven filling their Slurpees up with pints of vodka, and then they went to the fairground to put the rides together. And I'm like, I mean, you could get on that Ferris wheel, but the chances of it breaking off and rolling into the nearest pond are pretty high. And I don't know where they get the staff for the games, but holy shit, man. Every goddamn staff how many restraining orders are we talking about here? These guys, Go ahead, work around all the kids all day. Talk to them. We let these guys. Imagine they had a whole roster of these carny folk, and these were the 7 that they decided were fitting to speak to the public. You know what I mean? They were the craziest people I ever seen. They'd be like, "Come over and win a bear. You want to win a bear? Come over and win a bear." I'm like, I feel if I go over there, I'm gonna win hepatitis, bro. That's what I feel like I'm gonna win.